Okay, this one's going to be very important for you to understand because um, the way you're being tested in the process of trying to get married is extremely important in for your spiritual development and your maturity to be ready for marriage. Okay, so what often happens is when we make dua for marriage, there's a part of our brain that is programmed to believe that it's not going to happen. And when you focus on how it's not going to happen for you, you are subconsciously assuming that God does not have the power to do it because you think your logic of what you've seen in the past is more powerful than what God can do. Therefore, you are failing the test. And when you are failing the test, you will not get anywhere. Will keep repeating the same exact thing. And also, on a mental level, right? On the way you're thinking, when you think this is not going to work, and you're assuming it's not going to work, my dua doesn't work, I'm not actually going to get married. The next time you meet someone, you will act from that perspective, even if you don't consciously if you consciously try not to act from it, your brain will subconsciously act from it and you will find a way to end it, sabotage it, not be fully connected. You'll be one foot in, one foot out, kind of find ways to ruin it, find excuses to like not make it work. So you're not fully invested. You're kind of not there. Because why? Because you believe it's not going to work. Now, your job is to have more faith in what Allah can do over your fears. That's what we're tested on. That's what you're being tested on. Does my servant want to believe more in what society and her beliefs are telling her? Or does she believe more in what I can do for her? Does she believe in the name of Al-Qadir, the one who is capable of doing everything? وَهُوَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. Not, it's not وَهُوَ عَلى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ except for marriage. He can't get you married. Do you actually believe وَهُوَ عَلى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ? That he is capable of all things? Okay, the one who created what you're looking for, the one who created even the desire of what you're looking for. Do you believe that he can do it for you? Now, what comes up is either you're programmed to believe, I don't deserve it. It's not going to work for me because I don't deserve it, because I don't this, I don't that. Allah is Al-Karim. He gives even when you don't deserve. He doesn't give because you deserve. He gives because you don't deserve, in moments where you don't deserve. And and so what I find very fascinating is when you're making dua and you're like, it's not gonna work. Ya Allah, give me this. I want to be married to a really good husband, but I'm sure it's probably not gonna work. You don't have that when it comes to, let's say, other basic things. Okay, so as an example, and I want you to really I'm giving a very simple example to really uh, point out what I'm trying to teach, which is if I want to go get ice cream. Okay, very simple. I want to go get ice cream. I'm going to assume that I'm going to get ice cream. I check the hours, I show up to the ice cream shop, and I get ice cream. There's two ways of thinking of this. I could think, my first way of thinking, okay, my first way of thinking is I want to get ice cream, but what if Allah doesn't give it to me? What if my car breaks down? What if the car gets declined? What if the store says it's open, but it actually is closed? What if they run out of ice cream that I want? What if the employees just die on the spot? What if, like, I have a million thousand reasons of what could happen that would make me not get ice cream. However, as a normal human being, I would not focus on that. I would just be like, I'm gonna go get ice cream. And if I don't, I'll deal with it, right? I'll be okay. So my mentality is I'm focusing on the positive of how I assume Allah will give me ice cream. I'm not focusing on how Allah will not give me ice cream because that doesn't make sense. That doesn't serve you, me, or anyone in any way to focus on how it's not going to happen. Everything at all times, there's always two sides to it. There's either like in focusing on the intense negativity of how it can't happen or focusing on the positive of how it can't happen. Your job is to focus on how it can happen. And if it doesn't happen, you have like you submit in a way where this is what Allah's meant. Like, how do I say this? We don't focus on when it doesn't happen. We focus on, inshallah, it will happen, and you act from that place. When you take action from a conviction of like, I know it's gonna happen. I know I'm gonna get ice cream. I'm gonna get in that car. I'm gonna drive with so much like joy of I'm gonna go get ice cream. And then if it by like a 1 or 2% chance that it happens that the employee died on the spot, they fainted, and I can't get ice cream, and I can't reach. At that point, I'll be like, قدر الله وما شاء فعل, and I rewire what I need and figure it out and move on to the next thing. Maybe I'll get it tomorrow. What is my point here? I'm focusing on how Allah can give it to me, not focusing on how He won't give it to me. The more I focus on how He won't give it to me, I will show up not even getting in the car to get ice cream. I don't, because I'm just so afraid that He's not going to give it to me that why would I even take action? But part of me believing with conviction that I am going to get it, I take the action of actually jumping in the car, going to get it. So you're being tested on whether or not you believe in what that God can give it to you. So all of you that are constantly dwelling on how what if Allah doesn't give it to me, you're failing the test. What do I mean by that? If that's the majority of the time, that's what you're thinking, you are not taking action properly. You're taking action from anxiety, stress, you're choking the camel. You're like, I need to do everything and everything all the time, and I need to fix it and I figure out myself. You have no trust in God. However, if I say, Ya Allah, I know I've failed. I've talked to, let's say, 20,000 potentials in the past. All of them failed, all of them didn't work. And I've come up with these stories about how it's not going to work for me. Ya Allah, you are beyond that. You are beyond any story that I can think of. You can make it happen for me. And you focus on the evidence of how it can happen for you. Now you are passing the test. Now you are one of those who have shifted their identity to believe that it can't happen for you. But if you're someone who focuses on how it can't happen for you, you will literally make that happen because the way you show up is you don't take action, you don't take the means you need to actually to make it happen. And when I say means, I'm talking about the way you show up, your internal work, your heart, the way it's connected, all of it is tied to each other. Okay, so God is with you at all times in every way, in the same amount of presence all the time. You just aren't connected. You have kind of disconnected your your plug from from trying to connect with God, and you're like, oh, it's my fault. It's like you're trying to figure it out, and that's what's causing you the stress. Okay, your purpose, I'm gonna be big reminder, your purpose is not to get married, your purpose is to pass the test of whether or not uh like how you see this stuff, how you see all of it. Who are you being while you're trying to going on this process? You are supposed to fail. How are you? It's supposed to fail. You're supposed to like you're supposed to not succeed most of the time. How do you react? What do you learn and get up and get back up again and have that resilience, or do you fall and stay on the ground in self-pity? Those are the ones that I found that do not get married. Okay. So, inshallah, that kind of gives a reminder of like we got to believe in God's conviction because that's the only way that gets you on a physical, like mental level that actually gets you taking action. Matter of fact, when you uh when you see it that Allah is testing you at every moment, in every single second. How do I respond when I meet a potential? How do I respond when I get rejected? How do I respond this? How do I respond that? That's the purpose of your life. This is why we're here. Focus on that. Focus on who you're becoming. That is what creates the version of you that is ready for marriage, the maturity you need to actually handle a healthy marriage. All right. I love you guys. Inshallah, I'll see you in the next video. Assalamu alaikum.